Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Tennessee Community Engaged Alliance Against COVID-19 Wellness Wednesday show, also known as CEAL Wellness Wednesday. I am Dr. Catherine Y. Brown, your host. Now, more than ever, we must stay informed and stay engaged about the COVID-19 pandemic in our Tennessee communities. Our communities, Nashville, Memphis, and surrounding areas must increase our understanding of the factors that contribute to the disproportionate burden of COVID-19 in underserved communities of Tennessee. Throughout our conversations on this show, we will be introducing you to thought leaders that are establishing effective community engaged strategies that are aimed to increase knowledge, awareness, testing, and vaccine readiness as they begin to address structural inequities and COVID-19 disparities. Today, we are excited to introduce you to Dr. Paul Juarez, the visionary leader behind the CEAL project. Welcome, Dr. Juarez. We are honored to have you with us today. You have such a diverse background in research, academia, and community engagement nationally and internationally. Can you please share with our viewers a brief overview of your background and significant accomplishments?
Thank you, Dr. Brown. I'm going to spare you, the audience I've been around for a while, so I'm just going to say I am chair in the Department of Family and Community Medicine at Meharry Medical College. I've been here at Meharry for over 6 years. I'm also director of our Health Disparities Research Center of Excellence, and I'm PI of the Tennessee CEAL grant, the Community Engaged Alliance Against COVID-19. But I will say that one of the things in terms of longevity has allowed me to really meet and work with people from across the state. And I think that's really what's made our initial effort here to get off the ground, hitting the ground running, and to really be able to produce around COVID. So again, I'm excited. This is, as you said, our inaugural presentation. And again, we want to build on this to keep the residents of Tennessee informed of what's going on around COVID.
You know what, that is absolutely amazing, Dr. Juarez. And as you said, keeping people informed. On that note, I want to actually transition to the CEAL project. Can you explain to our viewers what is CEAL and what are some of the objectives of the project?
Sure. The Tennessee program is a research grant that was funded by the NIH. And one of the things they want to do, it's part of a national effort that's occurring in 11 states. And it was to target initially those states that had the highest rates of COVID and to focus on underserved racial and ethnic minority communities. As we know, we are disproportionately affected by COVID, disproportionately at risk of getting COVID and of being hospitalized and dying from COVID. So again, this program was established a very short period of time, and we were charged with setting up networks to both across the state and within underserved racial and ethnic minority communities to get the word out about COVID. So initially, the first set of activities we worked on was to try to recruit African American and Latinos for the COVID vaccine trials. And we did this on a statewide basis, but we've established our presence in all 3 regions. So what we've done is we've organized academic and community partners in West Tennessee and in Central Tennessee and in East Tennessee. And so we have, we're trying to coordinate across all 3 regions, but we have people and are to work with other activities and organizations in each of the regions. So it's, again, it's a little different in terms of the rollout in each region. So
Absolutely.
there are clinical trials that are going on in all three regions. As we know, there was a Pfizer, there's Moderna, there's the Johnson and Johnson, there's AstraZeneca. All four of those trials have been completed now, but there are need to be additional clinical trials. COVID at Meharry right now, we are hosting or sponsoring the Novavax clinical trial, and we're still trying to recruit primarily African Americans and Latinos for those. And again, we have information available for people who may be interested. And again, we have the website to where people can go to the Meharry website and actually enroll for that at this point in time. In addition to there, I was informed another research organization called Clinical Research Associates here in Nashville that is going to begin enrolling adolescents for COVID trials. So most people may have heard that the trials that have gone on currently are the was conducted in people 16 and over. The Moderna was, and the others were all 18 and over. So there's a need for additional information about how effective and dosage and things about clinical trials in younger, and those are beginning to occur. Pfizer's already completed their initial work with adolescents. Johnson & Johnson is working in this area. We'll see, again, some of the other pharmaceuticals begin to do the adolescents and move into children as well. So those are all areas that remain in terms of doing clinical trials and the need, and we'll be continuing to participants for those. The second area that our CEAL program is engaged in is conducting a research program where we're going to compare the effectiveness of two interventions. One is a health education only intervention, and the other is one that is in which we're using community health workers as patient navigators who will actually work with people to address their needs, either that are affect their needs around COVID or vaccines, or again, in other areas of their lives that have been affected by COVID. So if people are having trouble, again, paying for their pharmacy or getting food or paying their rent and things like that, there are resources available, and so those community health workers will help those persons address those things. Because we know that COVID may not be at the top of the list of everybody's concerns, just day-to-day living things that may overwhelm people, and we want to make sure that those don't prevent them from being able to take advantage of that exists to address COVID. And then the third area that we're working in is really to increase the knowledge and awareness. And again, initially, as I said, that was around COVID and precautions that people need to take. Those still continue. But as the vaccine now is available, we're also really trying to encourage people to get vaccinated and provide them with the information that's needed. And there's a lot of information out there right now, and it can be sort of confusing. There's also a lot of misinformation out there that makes the matters worse. And so we want to be a source of trusted information about COVID, where people can come to and get accurate information, particularly as we move into this stage of where the vaccine now is being rolled out.
Well, that's exciting. I mean, that's a lot of work, and I like that you took the time to explain those three core areas. So with all the work that you have shared, you have a diverse team of experts that are working on this project. Can you just share who are some of the key stakeholders?
Sure, thank you. We're working, again, at multiple levels. Certainly as part of the CEAL team, we're working with investigators in other states, 11 other states or 10 other states. In the state of Tennessee, working the Department of Health and their Office of Minority Health. They have a health disparities task force that we've been coordinating our efforts with. In addition, we're working with Tennessee Education Center, the AHEC program. They have health profession students that are serving as AHEC scholars, and we want to engage them in this process of educating our communities, reaching out in or activities around COVID. And they're in all three regions of the state, so it's a natural part. We're also working with the HBCU Wellness Program, which is a program operated out of Meharry Medical College, and they work with collegiate students at 4 HBCUs in the state, including Lemoyne-Owen and Lane College in Jefferson, and Fisk and TSU here in Nashville. And so we're trying to work with them so we can engage their health ambassadors in this process of messages to their communities around COVID. We're also with a high school program called HOSA, or Health Occupation Students of America, and there are chapters around the state, and we want to engage the high school students as well in this messaging process. And I know that, again, why are we focusing on young people when they're not the ones that are most at risk? But their message and they're part of family. We in getting the word back to their families, so that again, and to encourage them to get the vaccine when it becomes available. So those are some of the partners. We're also in Memphis area. We have investigators, colleagues at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center, University of Memphis, St. Jude's Research Center. We're also working with Cherokee Health Center, which is a community health center there in Memphis. Here in Middle Tennessee, we're working. We have a number of colleagues here at Meharry Medical College that are working with me on this. We have colleagues at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. We're working with Matthew Walker Comprehensive Health Center. In East Tennessee, we're working with East Tennessee State University and with Cherokee Health Systems, which is the largest community health center system in the state. So those are some of the partners that we're working with. Again, it's been really wonderful effort. We hope to engage others and we'll more about that.
I love it. You know, it's timely what you are doing. It is extremely innovative, and the dissemination strategy to get the message out is powerful. So I know people, as they listen to you, and you only cut the tip of the iceberg of these stakeholders, but how can the community learn more about TNCEAL?
Well, we have a number of, we're involved. We have media campaign. We have social media campaigns. We're working with students, high school, collegiate, and graduate level students. So there, and also we're working with some of our community health center providers. Now, some of the people may not be aware of where we're at in the vaccine distribution. Tennessee, just give a little information there. The Tennessee Department of Health has a health distribution plan that they have put out. In it, again, and they talk, and this is some of the confusion. They talk about, people who are in category A1, A2, or B1, B2, those sorts of things. And it can be confusing, but unless they have that list of, the category, aren't going to know which group they're in. And so what the Tennessee Department of Health has done is they've tried to identify the most vulnerable populations to be in the vaccination process with. So right now, there's several things that people need to know about the vaccination. Is who's eligible. Currently, in the state of Tennessee, and let me also state that this also varies county by county. So that can add to the confusion, because people in Davidson County may be, operating at a different level in terms of eligibility than people in Shelby or Knox County. And so you need to be aware of who's eligible in your county. Currently, I think all of the initial groups, the essential care healthcare providers are certainly all part of that. The long-term personnel and residents of long-term care facilities part of that. I just heard this morning that all people, residents of the long-term care facilities, nursing homes, given vaccine. That is going now. To do that, the health department working with some of the pharmacies, CVS and Walgreens in particular, to get people in those nursing homes and long-term care facilities vaccinated. Currently, people that are 70 years of age and older are eligible. So that's one thing. And I heard that the Department of Health thinks it'll through the remainder of February before all people 70 years of age and older are vaccinated. So keep that in mind. Then we'll begin to move to other groups. But as we do that, we will try to keep everybody notified. We have the called tnceal.org, the Tennessee CEAL website. Again, that's tnceal.org. So we are directing people there and we try to keep that up on a daily basis across all counties in the state of who's eligible for the vaccine. The second thing is, again, where to go back. And this, again, varies by county. In Knox County and East Tennessee, I think the vaccines are being run through the county health department, and I'm not sure exactly where people are getting vaccines at counties or if they're working with other sites. Here in the county in Nashville, the health department is now vaccinating people down at the Music City Center, and they've also contracted with Neighborhood Health, which is they have 7 sites, community health center with 7 sites here in Nashville, and so the vaccines are currently being administered at those sites. I know Matthew Walker in the discussion and I think they will also join that list of sites where people can be vaccinated, as is Meharry Medical College. So there are a number of sites now in Nashville and in Shelby County. Again, they have contracted with Kmart pharmacies, and there's 11 different sites in Shelby County where people can get vaccinated. So those again, but you don't just show up at the sites. You have to in most, again, and this may vary as well, but they are trying to encourage everybody to sign up or get an appointment for the vaccines, not just to show up. So in each county, they have different ways and different again, the ways that you can sign up for those things. So anybody who is looking to sign up needs to go to their county health department website. Again, they provide that information via Twitter. All the counties are using Twitter now. So again, you need to stay tuned to your local county health department in terms of where the vaccines will be administered and what the hours for those vaccines.
And I love that you mentioned Twitter. So I'm going to go back to a couple of things. You said the website is tnceal.org, but you also have a Facebook page, a Twitter page, and an Instagram page. So for those of you who are watching at home, I want you to follow the hashtag TNCEAL. Again, that's TNCEAL. Dr. Juarez has shared so much exciting information, but the website, the TNCEAL.org, always has information that is changing. So I want you to follow this TNCEAL on social media and check out the website. Dr. Juarez, I'm going to go to our last question, and it's an interesting question because I'm excited to hear your response. If TNCEAL specifically, your project is successful, what does that look like for Tennessee as it relates to COVID-19?
Well, again, Tennessee CEAL can't do this on its own. We are really dependent on partnerships. We've been having meetings recently, the last few days, of how we can try to get the vaccine out to people in communities who may not be able to get to these vaccine distribution sites. So that's what we're actively engaged in all 3 regions, is we want to talk with and work with our local health departments to see, as those vaccines become available, if we can use some of the resources with our community partners. For instance, both Matthew Walker Comprehensive Health Center and Meharry Medical College have mobile vans. We've been using those as for COVID testing sites. We work with churches and other community organizations to coordinate sending those mobile units out so that we can usually try to get weeks or so notice to the working with the site so they can recruit people, let them know that the mobile site will be on at their location and what hours to that it'll be there, so that again that we have people that are ready to come into those sites. That's not in place currently, but that's something that we are working on. And part of the reason is right now there's the distribution process is again, not all of that is in the state's control. Some of the vaccines to pharmacies are going directly from the federal government to pharmacies. Others are going to the state, to the counties. So there again, it's a big system right now, and to work with our community partners to get the vaccines to those most vulnerable populations.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Juarez. You have certainly given us an overview and better understanding of CEAL. We definitely have to have you back to share some of the outcomes of your work. Thank you again. For our viewers around the world, I invite you to join me next Wednesday for CEAL Wellness Wednesdays. You won't want to miss an episode, and be sure to share this message. Until next time, stay informed, stay healthy, and share this message with your community.